Hey everyone, it's James Lambert, the motivational coach and speaker. I went from headlocks to hugs. I still embrace people, just now in a more positive way. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about self-limiting beliefs. Now we all have them. Indeed, I've had many over my life. There was a point where I didn't think I could become a peaceful, happier person, believe it or not. But it was true. Moreover, it was true to me. I believed it, so it's true in my world. And what really sparked the topic for today's video was I was training my client in my capacity as a personal trainer. And I'm very keen on watching out for language and how it can reveal our inner beliefs and indeed values. And what he said to me, it struck me. And I wanted to share it with you. And we were talking about goals and different things, and I was talking about the power of the mind, and particularly when you harness it to get things done. And I was remarking on how far this particular chap had come in his own journey. He's been training with me for give or take 7 or 8 months. Some of them he's been out of action due to injury, but let's just say 7 months, come a hell of a long way. And I was encouraging him and also to set more goals, and just really inspired because, of course, like anything, although you're changing the body, you're of course changing your mind, your beliefs, your confidence grows, and it filters into other areas of your life. So you think, yeah, maybe I could do more, or I could travel more, and I could do more, I could charge more for my services, I could earn more, and so on and so on. And he was talking about a friend going in for a marathon in the spring, and he said, oh, I could never do a marathon, as of course I used to smoke. And I thought, warning, that makes no sense. And I said, say that again. He said, oh, I could never do a marathon because I used to smoke. And I said, no, that's just a limiting belief. We can explore that, because I need to challenge that head on, because that's wrong. Indeed, you can do your own research, but we can argue about the length of time. But I believe at least from a month after quitting, a smoker's lungs, an ex-smoker, their lungs begin to regenerate. Whether it's a month, 6 weeks, or a little bit longer, certainly modern science tells us that after a certain amount of time, an ex-smoker's lungs begin to regenerate, and after X amount of time, they go back to you get your full capacity back. So it's as if you never smoked after a couple of years, I believe. And I asked him, well, how long has it been? And it turned out it was a decade at least. And so I said, well, you do realise that has no bearing on whether you wish to run a marathon today. And you could see, literally, it was like the scales dropped off of his eyes. The revelation, the impact. So I could do a marathon. Now, as it turned out, this particular individual, and this is something we all need to examine ourselves, all of us, with very few exceptions, could do a marathon. You could do a marathon. You could complete the 26.2 mile distance. Now, what we come on to is, do you want to? And again, there's no shame in this. There's no judgment. There's certainly no self-condemnation. But have you got an inkling to do it? Do you really care to do that? Is it important to you? And if it's not, that's fine. Now, as it turns out, this particular individual today, I don't think really, he hasn't got a strong enough why to do a marathon. However, that realisation that his lungs are as good as anyone's, and him smoking 10, 12, 15 years ago will not stop him run a race today. What was interesting, you could see, maybe he would like to go in for a 5, 10k, maybe a half marathon in time. But as I say, does he want to do a marathon? That's a completely different kettle of fish. But now he can stop at least the BS excuse that smoking, oh, of course, I could never do a marathon as I used to smoke. Now that's just patently not true. And I just gently ask you to consider, where in your own life are you holding on to these self-limiting beliefs? And just be honest. Again, no judgment, but just weird you think, well, I could never do that because I've always been big, or I could never do a degree because I only got my GCSEs or whatever up to. I could never study for a doctorate because I only studied up to high school. All of these excuses we tell ourselves. Oh, I can't be sporty now because I've never been sporty. Your past has no bearing on today, and certainly not your future. I don't care what anyone's told you, particularly teachers or not. You know, one or two, let's just say poor teachers, they told me that nothing would become of me. How wrong they were. But the important thing is that I didn't let it completely, I didn't allow it to be my, now I might have allowed it in and become a belief for a time, but more importantly, not today. I realised that we create our own destiny. Now, of course, you can give it up. You can say, oh, the fates control it and just absolve all responsibility. And again, no judgment, but I personally believe that's a cop-out. That is a real cop-out. And it's easier, don't get me wrong, it's easier to do. It's easier to say, oh, woe is me, or I'm just unlucky. Now, of course, you speak that into existence. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I would much rather you start saying what you could do, or at least I like the language as I spoke about in another video. I choose to, or I choose not to. Just be honest. Just be honest. You choose to start a new business, or you don't. Nothing to do with the economy, or bad luck, or a lack or surplus of money. You choose. You make your choices. And far from being, oh, that's a negative, it's very empowering. So I just want to leave you with that. Look and examine your limiting beliefs, and if necessary, get rid of them. Realize you have the power. You have the power. I talk about your unstoppable power. Believe in it. It is there, even if it's a bit dusty, even if it's unused in months or years. You are unstoppable, and I believe in you.